Shadows of the Neon, our Werewolf the Apocalypse chronicle that we're running here on Final Show Films. My name is Jack. I'm your storyteller for this narrative, and joining me this evening is Jeremy.
Hello, my name is Jeremy. I am playing Aidan Taylor, child of Gaia, Philodox, Hamid.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Alexandra Core, Metis, Philodox, Black Fury.
And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Ingvar Ulfsdotter, the Geta Fenris Arun.
And Aaron. And Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm playing Sal Moraro, Glasswalker Ragabash.
And Dakota. Sorry, Holly. Wow. That's fun.
That's okay. I answered to both. Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Dakota. She is Lupus Galliard Uktana.
John is not with us yet this evening. He might be showing up later. We'll see what happens. He carries the mantle of Theurge, a Hamid's silent strider. And we are going to see what's going down outside of Vegas today. Last time we were in Vegas, the pack prepared to set out in search of Alex's former mentors, the Desert Knife Pack. They're a trio of Black Furies that have apparently somehow managed to remain out of the primary records of the Mojave Green Sept in Las Vegas. With the regional administrator preparing to retake the halfway house cairn for the Weaver, the local guru, and this pack in particular, are attempting to find whatever hope they have of withstanding the assault of rising spiritual calcification in the city. Tomorrow, the Wings of the Mojave Pack is scheduled to walk a moon bridge into the battleground realm of the Umbra, searching for secrets hidden amongst past conflicts that might provide knowledge and advantages in protecting this cairn. But today, their feet are placed on the path leading up into Icebox Canyon, where hints of Alex's secret mentors might be hidden. So you guys have parked, you've assembled, and you've begun to push deeper into the western reaches of the Mojave Desert around Las Vegas. Sun is still high enough in the sky that the rays of it beat into your back as you guys begin to pick your way across the scrub and rock leading into the mountains where Icebox Canyon is located. You are in search of a particular landmark for which you have a single photo that Anya was able to get off the internet. It's a landmark called the Knife of the Desert, which is your target. Yes, you have done that. The Icebox Canyon Trail doesn't really intersect with a whole bunch of other ones. It's short, relatively speaking, just a couple miles in length, but the terrain is rugged and the hike is considered to be a difficult one. Straight out and back. Yep.
Those are just totally normal terms of art. So
yeah. Nope. We're hikers. We don't have a lot of time for bullshit. But you guys are fairly well supplied, water and that sort of thing brought along, as well as most of you in your dedicated gear. And you are prepared to start moving westward. There are a couple other vehicles, so you are potentially likely to encounter other hikers of a probably non-werewolf description along the way. Who's going to be leading? Hekau definitely is not, given that he's kind of gimpy.
Aidan looks at Alex to see if she wants to be in front. If not,
I can try. Yeah. I guess I will.
Would you be more comfortable with somebody else in front?
I mean, I've hiked a little bit around out here. Mechanically, I have a 1 in survival. So if someone's better at hiking, it's probably a good idea.
I mean, at this point, it's a trail. I'm happy to go first. I'll keep my my eyes and ears out, but I'm not exactly what you might call a trailblazer.
How
Yeah, nor do I.
I do.
The way you can do that and the way to do that is if you hover over your video in the upper right corner, there's a series of 3 dots.
And then you can go rename.
Rename. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Like, is that okay? Okay.
All right.
Now, I'm almost 100% certain you have already answered this question, probably in the last minute.
That's
but,
okay.
How isolated of an area is this?
So you basically the only access to this trailhead from the maps and stuff that you guys have been able to acquire is from this parking lot.
Okay.
It doesn't appear to intersect or connect with other trails further along. It's an isolated canyon. And the entire length of the marked and potentially maintained trail is about 2 miles. Anya was able to determine that the landmark is slightly beyond that. Apparently, this trail ends at a waterfall,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to keep going.
Okay. But the point is, we are unlikely to encounter hikers.
There are
A couple
3 or 4
cars.
other vehicles already in the park.
That's right. That's right. There are. Okay.
Right. So you are probably going to encounter someone along the way. As to whether they will try to engage with you or you can just, hide in the scrub off to the side and wait for them to pass, that's up to you.
Fuck it. I'm going lupus anyway.
Yeah, I think some of us are already lupus.
Right. A number of you had. Yeah. Right.
There is a nuclear power plant in Las Vegas.
There is.
Or not Las Vegas specifically, but in Nevada. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. It's going to be easier to explain away a human with antlers via costuming special effects. It's my religion. Why are you asking me questions?
Transhumanism.
Right. It's going to be easier to explain it on your humanoid form than it would be in your lupus form.
It's fine. We're just a transhuman walking all of her pet wolves.
I'm not going lupus.
Yeah, Dakota's gonna stay in Hamid form.
Okay.
I love
Sounds good.
I
Okay.
love that most of the Hamids are going lupus and the lupus is staying in Hamid.
Yes.
Sal will range not out of eyesight, but will range a ways away from the trail.
Yeah. I think Aidan will probably go to Sal on that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh no, you're not. Yeah, lagging. Yep.
Sounds good. All right. So you guys begin your progress up and through the brush leading towards the mountains that this canyon carves into out of sort of the foothills area immediately to the east. Go ahead and everybody can roll me a stamina and survival difficulty 7.
That's the other reason I changed. Although I don't know that stamina is that much better in lupus. It's a little.
Nope.
That would be your
Basic. Or no,
character sheet and
Attributes and abilities.
the attributes and abilities page.
You say difficulty 7?
Difficulty 7. Stamina and
so
survival
well.
difficulty 7. If you do not have any dots in survival, it makes it difficulty 8.
Oh, well. Ha! With nothing but stamina, and we're all survival. 4 successes.
Cool.
This is going well.
So it is taking you guys a while.
oh, fuck off!
It is taking you guys a while to begin to find your rhythm and to make progress. And then there's a yelp from Aidan, who seems to have gotten his paw stuck in a crack between 2 boulders.
Is Aidan near Sal, or is Aidan on like the other side of the group?
Fairly near Sal.
Okay.
Actually, no. Let's be honest. He has a choice.
I mean, I
And
feel
it is
honest.
tactically better,
Yeah.
anyways.
all right.
But it's an added bonus that he's on the other side.
Okay. Sal is booking it towards Aidan, but then it will probably take him a while to get there.
And this is the
Okay.
This is Dakota.
I mean,
Yeah. Over the mental link is, boss, you okay? Is it one of those worms like from Tremors?
there's a series of growls and barks and snarls that for people who understand lupus would be the equivalent of motherfucker, goddamn piece of shit, come motherfucker.
It's the graboids.
As you get closer, Sal, you're able to determine that it is not, in fact, a graboid. But Aidan apparently skidded out trying to get it on up a slightly larger rock and has now gotten his paw stuck in a crack between 2 of them instead.
You muted yourself, Greg.
How difficult does it look like it would be to move the rocks?
The rocks themselves, extremely.
Yeah. Is there a lever? Could we use a stick as a lever?
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, it looks like the main thing that's keeping Aidan's paw stuck in here is the fact that he has to put his weight on the other ones.
All right. Sal's going to shift back into Hamid.
Go ahead and roll for that then.
I don't have to because I'm Hamid.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, you're shifting back to Hamid. My bad.
I'm keeping a lookout to see if we've got any company now that noise has been made.
Perception and alertness, difficulty 6.
Okay.
And how many Hamids do we have helping Aidan get out of this?
Dakota.
All right. So one of you can roll strength and athletics with 2 other people helping, difficulty 4.
I have that's a total of 6 in my pool for that roll.
Yeah, you should do it.
Okay.
And 2 successes on mine for...
You don't see anybody showing up yet, Alex.
Okay, good. Everyone shifts into things. Jeez, look first.
No, and yes, exactly. Exactly so. What is my difficulty?
4.
Alex probably says that over the
5.
link.
All right. So you just reach down and grab Aidan and sort of lift and switch to the side. Aidan, as soon as the weight is released from having to be borne by your other legs and put you in an angle where you can maneuver your paw, you pretty much just are able to turn it sideways and slip it out of the crack.
Okay.
And you're free.
Yes. Nope. We keep going.
But you guys, yeah, okay. Go ahead and give me just give me a dexterity and stealth difficulty 6 to see this will kind of be a long term just how overtly sneaky and subtle.
Is that all of us or just Anya?
This one's just for Anya.
Okay. Nope. Other Anya.
Not a botch, but okay. Right. Okay. So you're doing your best to just keep your head down and remain as far to the back of the group as possible. But see, all we need to do is put a lampshade on one of your antlers, and then everybody will know what's going on. You guys begin to get back to the trail and slowly begin picking your way through the ability to pick out where the trail is located isn't that difficult. It's just that there's a ton of debris and alterations to the topography and that sort of thing. And it's a half climb, half hike rather than just walking. But you guys are able to make some progress and begin to push further in. After about an hour, you get up to, you've covered about 3/4 of a mile, and you are now finally coming to the mouth of this canyon. As you get closer, you notice there is a cool breeze wafting out of it against your face as you get closer. The geography here just sort of funnels the colder air from higher altitudes down this passageway and coming out of the mouth of this reentrant that's been worn into the mountains by the slow progress of water erosion over centuries. It's just sort of releasing this steady stream of colder air. Much more refreshing than the more open, sun beating down on you type hike that you've had to this point. And right about now, Alex, is when you see your first trio of hikers picking their way down the slopes headed towards you, probably about a 1/4 mile distant.
People 3/4 mile away. It's gonna take them a while to get down here, and if we stop for every group that comes past, it's gonna be slow going.
Just
and they still might.
keep
how-
going unless they say something.
Alex, how familiar are you familiar at all with the Umbra in this area?
I mean, I went in when I started, when my rite of passage started,
Right.
but I got lost.
That's fine.
I mean,
As
also,
long as we can stick to the penumbra, we should be generally okay. Also, you were in the middle of your first change.
No, this was when I got back to.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But as long as we stick to the penumbra, we should be relatively okay.
Okay.
I guess I'm kind of missing the point at which we just kind of wave and say hey and keep on walking. I mean, there's also the possibility if we spotted them from here, they may have already seen us. If they get up here and they don't find us, who knows? They report us in as missing.
Can
we
I tell?
explain it?
Can I tell if they've like spotted us from my glimpse of them? Did they like acknowledge it all, or did they seem pretty,
No,
like,
they're
occupied?
they're paying attention to their actual walking, which is
Got it.
generally the safer choice.
You,
You're right about now is when you're at the threshold on that. Just the amount of territory that you've covered so far was open enough, but very rugged terrain. Now you're getting into the point where you're going to be entering a canyon. It's going to be a very restricted environment.
It might be.
I mean,
Or-
we're here on the hike. Those of us who are lupus just stay out of sight. The rest of us, we're here on the hike.
Or some of you shift into the Umbra, and others of us stay out here. We can communicate over the.
No. Yeah. This is your game, Alex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ingvar and Dakota and I stay here, and the rest of you go in over.
Perfect.
Right.
Cow.
Hekau. Definitely Hekau.
Okay, Hakal's going to see if he can activate his shades.
Sal is in Hamid form by this point, by the way. He hasn't shifted back. I wasn't-
Aidan is still lupus.
Okay.
All right, and he's going to try and open up for you guys to go through. Yep. All right. So Hakao just runs a finger along the frames of the sunglasses that he's always wearing, and then holds out his arms and just ushers you through a gaping hole that is pulled into the air and soil around you. And everybody who's going onto the Umbra side just shoop, 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 piles through and find yourself in a slightly different environment. The terrain is far more rugged. The edges and gashes of the stone are far more severe and exaggerated. You can feel the grit of sand and rock underneath your feet or your paws in whatever form you happen to be in. But what you notice first is the icy cold wind that is whipping past your ears. It feels like you've stepped out into midwinter suddenly.
Sal puts up the hood of his tracksuit and zips it up.
It's a frigid blast of cold air just blowing at a far stronger velocity. And you can see there's a small stream of water that the trail had been following more or less as you got closer to the mouth of the canyon. It's a little broader, a little deeper here on the Umbra side, and there are actual chunks of ice floating in it still, despite the fact that it's August.
Over the mental link, Sal will say, "Yeah, I want to point out that for the purposes of the next quarterly report or whatever, I went over, but I know I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer here. But is there a reason we're not just sticking around and say hi?"
Yeah, it's easier to explain this, or it may well work to explain it, but the less we have to explain to humans, the better. There's no reason to take a risk if we don't have to.
For the record, not a fan of splitting up when we don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
That's a good point.
And then out loud in response, Sal says, again, that's why we're talking about it after the fact. Like I
Right.
said, I don't want you to write me up for not obeying orders. So I'm over here. But now that we're here, I wanted to talk about it.
It's
I think we can handle it.
we're not exactly split up. We're kind of split up. Gauntlet's a thing. And
Alex, you feel a small weight settle onto your shoulder.
Oh, okay, the bird.
Stonebringer.
noted.
Good. Super subtle.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Just out for a little crow jog.
Yeah, if anyone asks, we're here exploring. We're looking for interesting landmarks because that's what we're actually here for. Is looking for. I mean, we know what the landmark is, but we're looking for interesting landmarks.
Yeah, we're gonna see the sights.
Blood Moon, you have about 10 minutes to make up a story.
Okay.
And then he flies back off and starts beating his wings and just circles up, probably about 50, 70 feet above you.
Okay, so they're coming in 10 minutes. What's the story?
I
We're
mean,
going for a
We
hike.
are,
we're here on a hike. We're looking for landmarks. We're exploring the area.
Yep.
we are three normal humans doing human leisurely things.
I really, really hope Dakota framed it exactly like that.
Don't say it like that, maybe.
I'm assuming this is verbalized and not.
The Rotigar back home taught me a few things, and the biggest thing they taught me was that the best disguise is the simplest one. Just you are here because you belong here.
Hello, fellow humans. Human fellas.
How do you do, fellow humans?
Well then, should we could backtrack a little and then meet them up here so
Are
that
we
we don't
on
go
the
too
trail
far.
still?
Yeah, you guys are on the
Yeah.
trail at the mouth of the canyon.
Yeah.
There's no reason we can just keep walking. We're actively on a hiking trail. If they come across us, we're hiking.
We're getting further away from the rest of the group when they come back. Or if they need to get to us.
Do you want to sit here and rest for a minute?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That actually works. Yeah. Just taking a rest. Okay.
Okay, so so to clarify now, are you guys just verbalizing this, or are you guys saying this?
No, I was speaking over the mental link the whole time.
My
Oh.
thought was, you guys can walk and we can walk, because as long as we're in the penumbra side and not actually further in, we should cover about the same ground.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, then let's do that. Keep going.
All right. So you guys, both groups,
Let's hike.
one on the material side, one on the far side of the gauntlet, begin to progress further up into the canyon. You guys get probably 5 minutes walking or so, and you can hear the footfalls of people crunching down the trail back in the same direction that they apparently hiked earlier in the day. 3 people, 2 middle-aged, 1 younger. And as they get close, you can see it's a weird sort of combination of they've been sweating, they've been exerting themselves, but the coolness of the air has kept them from perspiring all that much. You guys, even in those that are in Hamid form on this side of the gauntlet, you can sort of smell that kind of aerobic odor of a human being that's been breathing harder than they do at a relaxed state. They've got
Yeah,
hiking
good
poles,
stink.
some small backpacks. Then come around the corner and glance up and meet your eyes for the first time.
Ingvar looks at them and nods and continues on the path unless they decide they want to say anything.
The first one there is like, morning,
Hmm.
and starts picking his way around, trying to make sure to not force anybody off the trail, but still maintain some stable footing himself. The youngest male, probably age 22, 23 or so, bringing up the rear. You guys first time out here?
Just doing some exploring, looking around, seeing notable landmarks.
Pool's pretty this morning.
Pool, further down.
Bottom of the waterfall. Yeah, if it's your first time, definitely get some photos.
Nice. I'll take a look at that.
Cool. I wave.
Dakota will just smile and wave.
They they go past you. The middle one, the only female of the group, kind of middle-aged, turns and kind of gives you a look, a little bit of a furrowed brow, not upset or derisive, just curious to an extent, but doesn't make anything of it. And
we're a motley looking crew, yes.
Yeah. You also can tell that these people apparently like came out with specific equipment for this. You guys mostly just grabbed whatever you had and went for it.
Yeah. Ingvar doesn't look like she's remotely worn out yet, but
right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That person's like, they're gonna end up on a news story about X number of people missing.
I mean, in fairness, Anya is rich enough to just happen to own hiking equipment because it's part of the job to occasionally go into wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably was left with the rest of the group because it's definitely not tuned to me.
Yeah. No, that woman's gaze communicated something along the lines of 127 hours. I give these guys about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, kiddo, Technicolor. They got any kind of whiff of worm on them?
I can check. Dakota's gonna check.
Okay, so Dakota's gonna employ sense worm.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and roll perception and occult difficulty 6.
One success.
One success. Mild amount of worm, but
no more than most
significantly
humans.
less. Yeah, significantly less than you usually get just by wandering around the city. Yeah, you feel like this is actually the first time in a while that you've actually been in an area that could qualify as wilderness. You know, so that pervasive kind of corruptive underlying sense is significantly reduced from your normal day to day.
Yeah, everything's normal. They're fine.
All right. Well, just
All right.
keep an eye on them till they're out of sight.
Okay.
Okay.
Anya, what were you rolling for?
Sorry, that was just my benchmarking where my character is, and apparently Anya is doing a bad job of not looking like she is currently panicking and also not panicking.
Okay.
I rolled charisma and subterfuge because it's not specifically the flaw, but it's very close to it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yep.
All right.
I will empathy that.
Go
That is
ahead.
fair. That's my opposition to your empathy roll, by the way, just for the record.
Wits and empathy difficulty 6.
So don't triple botch.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Jeremy. It's very possible.
This is also true. Specialty of reading emotions.
I
That
think
would
that's
apply, I
reasonable.
think. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That would be 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
So,
no, just
No.
Jack, do you
that'd be
mind
3,
if I... Or...
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Anya is sort of tapping out patterns of numbers. If you are really paying attention, probably notice it's a Fibonacci sequence. And, like, clearly, like, moving less quickly than you'd expect and entirely rigid. There seems to be a lot of stress and nerves and discomfort.
Hey.
Sal probably gets a smaller version of the same thing. You probably notice the rigidness, that there's tapping, and yeah.
He honestly may even not notice. He's too wrapped up in being needlessly
I double
paranoid.
watch, so it's up to you how much you think one does.
He is so keyed up and paranoid that at first he thinks the tapping is a jaggling creeping up on them.
Fair.
Make sure they're like out of sight and will not see once the rest of the group comes through. Look up at Dustbringer and is there anyone else nearby or the other hikers far away?
You all hear Dustbringer's voice come over the mental link because that's the only way he can communicate with you guys right now because he is way up high. What was the question again?
Has the group continued? Basically, how far away are any other hiking groups from us? Should we just leave the people there for now and let a couple waves go past us, or what?
There's a pause, and then those you just passed are continuing their way. There are 2 more groups at least ahead of you. Nearly a mile. You have time.
You heard the crow. If you want to make your decision about whether you want to stay in the Umbra or not.
Probably best.
Let us use this time where we're not so concerned about someone coming upon us to potentially, if you think it is best, Alex, keep a cautious sense of if we are near enough to each other. We should be, but...
You mean Umbra and this side?
Can I try and take a look across the Umbra to see if they're approximately around us?
That's the easiest way to do it, yeah.
It's actually far easier to look from the Umbra to the real
Yep.
world than vice
Okay,
versa.
that works.
Yeah, I will.
If one of you wants to take a look.
No, this is what if.
So for here, you'd be looking at... You'd be looking at a Gnosis roll difficulty 7.
7. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
1. That'll do it.
Okay. Yep. You peek back across, and your senses tend to be able to just blur out a little bit, but you can see the figures of the 3 remaining members of your pack that are not in the Umbra with you. They're maybe 30 yards ahead at this point.
So yeah, I will say that. So I'll take my hand, put it on your shoulder, and we're gonna walk. And I will make sure that we keep within side of each other. My
All right.
side of each other.
So Aidan's going to be walking blind.
Yep.
Okay.
Do not make me trip on something, or I swear to God, I will make you go, Lupus, and then wear you like a rug.
Who are you holding on to?
You.
Okay.
You just
right.
got threatened.
That at this
I'm
point.
too physically incompetent for this.
No, at this point, that makes Sal feel comfortable because everything is normal. Sal says,
territory.
So, don't worry, boss. I'll make sure you don't fall down anything unless it's a real deep one.
Fair enough.
So everybody but Aidan
Yeah.
Needs to roll me perception and survival.
Right.
On both sides?
Both sides, yes.
Okay.
I could still roll. I'm seeing on their side.
Okay. If you want to still roll it, for you it's difficulty 10.
Right. No, for sure.
For,
I realize.
for everybody else, it's difficulty 8.
Okay.
If you don't have survival, that bumps it up to difficulty 9.
Okay, I'm
boy.
still confused by that. Talents and skills aren't supposed to be affected by the...
So talents are not affected. Skills, the difficulty goes up by 1 if you don't have a dot. Knowledges, you just can't make the roll, period.
Made it.
Okay.
Made it with 1.
I'm assuming that when it's diff 10 and goes up by 1, is that threshold kind of crap, or is it...
Nothing goes
doesn't
over.
matter.
No
Okay.
difficulty goes over 10. Right.
I did not botch.
Congrats.
Good for you.
Excellent stuff.
All right. So as you guys slowly begin to pick your way up this rugged canyon, both on the Umbra side and the physical side of the gauntlet, you begin to chart out what the best path that you can through this weird tangle of running water and fallen boulders and sand and eroded sandstone, and just it's rugged to the extreme, but you begin to make more and more and more progress as you go along. And eventually, the group of you, even with Aidan more or less walking blind and being guided by Sal, you begin to find a rhythm as you progress further and further up, avoiding some of the looser stones, some of the boulders that might have shifted or offer less ability for climbing or negotiating than some of their other ones, and you manage to push deeper in. Let's see. Alex, since you're in front, go ahead and roll me a perception and alertness difficulty 7, as well as you're keeping an eye out for other hikers.
All right. If my sheet will. There we go. 2.
You keep your ears pricked and your eyes open, and you're not hearing anybody coming, at least at this point.
Okay.
Every so often, Dustbringer swoops back closer, but doesn't say anything. He seems to be more or less just keeping an eye out and waiting to see what he can find. After about another hour and a half or so passes, you guys have gone about 1.5 miles at this point.
Okay.
Over the mental link again, Dustbringer comes. I believe I see the stones in question that you seek.
Oh, good. The 2 other groups were 1 mile ahead, so we should have passed them. They must be going the same direction as us.
They seem to be resting at the banks of the pool near the waterfall.
Okay. That'll be if we need to go. We need to go further than that, right, Anya? Further than this pool.
With my perfect memory.
Yes, the trail more or less ends at a large basin of water through which this stream that you guys have been hiking alongside spills out of. The pool is filled by probably a 30-40 foot waterfall of generally meltwater from higher up on the slopes of these mountains. But since it's basically a sheer cliff at the back of the canyon, this is where people stop. You guys have a landmark that's beyond that.
Yep.
We will need to go beyond where the trail technically ends, which could raise questions if we intersect with this other group at the river, at the water. It may be possible, from what I've seen, to go around and breaking off the trail before the river, but we'd need to be careful not to be spotted, because again, that would raise questions not answered by simply being hikers. And I generally confer the information that GM just gave me.
Sure.
Yep. How long have they been waiting or sitting at the side of the pool? Do they look like they're going to be there longer? I don't know. Gus Ringer might not be able to judge that, but
A short time? I do not know.
Well, we've got a bit of a distance before we get to the pools.
Yeah, you guys have about a half mile or so to continue.
If need be, we can just make our way there, hang out around the pools until they leave, and then proceed further.
yeah, could do that. Yeah.
It is your choice, Alex, for now.
Don't say it out loud. Don't say for now. It makes it sound.
That may not have translated properly, again over the psychic link. I try and speak English. It may... This is your mission. You are in charge.
No.
Better.
Yeah.
The other way sounds capricious, like you can be taken
Yes,
away at any time.
and that is entirely on Aaron, not the character with high charisma and business sense, okay?
I don't know. I feel like for a Silent Strider, you're in control or not a Silent Strider, Silver Fang. I feel like you're in control for now. It's pretty on brand.
No, that's fair. That is actually probably how Anya talks about, like, assignments in the workplace to most of the people she works with. This is your assignment for now. This is your job for now. For now, you are team leader. So yeah.
It sounds
okay.
like a threat.
Yes, and that's where I feel like Anya wouldn't, but that's fine.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because Anya's actually specifically good at inspiring people to do well. Aaron is not.
I mean, it requires small talk, but yes. That one is probably the safest. We don't have a Theodra on this side. Yeah, we'll do what Ingvar said and go to the pool and wait until they leave before you all come back. Or we go over to the other side with you. Yeah.
Springer, you said you had seen the rock formations we were looking for.
I believe there is a spire of the sandstone that has been sculpted by wind over time. Nearly 30 feet tall. About 2 minutes flight from the waterfall.
Do you think we could see it from the pools?
You will be too low and the cliff will block your vision. You'll have to climb to the top before you'll be able to see it.
Well,
My
let's get moving.
My apologies if I missed it while I was away from the keyboard. But did you describe what the pool looks like from the Umbra? Have we seen it at all on our side?
No, you guys
We
haven't
haven't
got
gotten
up
there
there.
yet.
You still have about a
Yeah,
half
not
mile
quite
to
there
go.
yet.
This is just
Okay.
this is just Dustbringer's report from
Okay.
his UAV point of view.
Thanks.
Yep.
And keep going.
Yep.
To the pool.
All right. So you guys take another push at this trail, and eventually, after another 40 minutes or so, manage to scramble out over a series of heavy boulders to where the trail snakes out into a slightly more open area, probably about 30, 40 yards away a little down to the side, there's a knot of hikers.
How many
Most of
people?
them just seated, looking out at the water. A couple of them idly throwing stones, eating or drinking something. Seem to be taking a break and catching their breath before starting the return or the descent. One of them has a camera out and is taking pictures, trying to get a decent angle. And at the far side, you can see what she's trying to get photos of. There's a ribbon waterfall that drops in a silvery stream, catching what little bits of sun are managing to pierce down through the mouth of this canyon now that the morning has passed and the angle of the incoming solar light is able to catch on some of these fluid phenomena. But a good 45, 50 feet or so as it plummets down into this shallow basin. A lot of bubbles and froth at the far end of the pool where it begins, evening out to a glass-like mirror surface. On the far side of the Umbra, you see something very similar, but there's a lot more motion to the water. There's the initial impact where you get that sort of whitewater phenomena that you've seen before, but there are small individual currents running through the pool that don't seem to have any particular affiliation with what you would consider a normal fluid dynamic.
Okay.
Are there any trail signs sitting around?
Nope.
Okay.
No signage or anything. This thing has been marked occasionally with just a simple paint on, but there's no real need to distinguish this trail because it's the only one.
Mm-hmm. Well, there doesn't appear to be any, trail ends here signs denoting that people should turn around anywhere.
Not particularly, although as you're looking at it, it is sheer cliff and mountain face. It's unlikely that any standard hiker without actual climbing equipment would be looking to go any further than here. You've pretty much entered a cul-de-sac full of water.
That doesn't say a whole lot, considering the number of people that I've met who have just been like, hey, you want to try and climb that?
Oh, yeah. No, you're probably certain that there have been a number of emergency response teams that have had to haul a stretcher up here at one point or another.
Does it seem reasonable that the additional motion on the Umbra side would just be additional water spirits? Can I make a roll to see if that seems strange?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a intelligence and occult, difficulty 7.
And now we wait, Alex?
Yeah. How many people are there? Just full
8.
numbers. 8. Okay, yep. That's a lot, but not terrible.
You said difficulty 8.
Difficulty 7.
7.
Yeah, Alex, as you step out and you see this little knot of people sort of just look over, there's an immediate sort of shiver that goes through the group. That's sort of very, very, very common social dynamic you've noticed, that when you walk out among people, there's a subconscious, at least, sense of your predatory nature and their lack thereof.
Okay.
Oh, let's sit down and have lunch, and we'll see who's around after we finish having food.
Yeah.
Sal, you're looking at the pool. You're assuming some sort of spiritual essence of it. You note that most of the pool, including where the waterfall hits the majority of the interior surface, and of course the channel that's leading out of it, is still liquid. There's a fairly thick encrusting of ice at the rim, though, that extends at its furthest point probably 4 or 5 feet out over the water.
Okay. That probably seems normal to Sal. I don't know that he has any point of contrast for it. So sure.
We did notice, generally speaking, that things are more frozen on this side, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The cold phenomena on the material side is much reduced from the active presence of frost and ice
All right.
on the Umbra side. Yeah.
Cool. Just like Desert Canyon cold on the normal side.
Right.
Cool.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, sit down, like acknowledge the other people, probably just like hand, not even
Okay.
looking because she's nervous. And I'm gonna do the same thing that Dakota did the last time and check to make sure we aren't sitting down next to a Fomor or something.
Okay. Perception and occult difficulty 7.
Okay. Hey, 2 successes.
You don't detect any significant presence of worm corruption in this area.
Cool.
What little you can pick up is centered around those hikers, but not so much that you're like, oh shit, one of them's going to sprout a tentacle and vomit acid.
Yep.
So
Well, fine.
Is Aidan still keeping an eye across the gauntlet and being led blind?
I would say probably still yes.
Okay.
Until we are, until we are ready to all be together, we need somebody on both sides.
All right. Anya and Sal, then go ahead and just give me a perception and alertness difficulty 6.
Here's where the worm creatures are.
as we just sort of sit down, Ingvar will say to Alex and Dakota loud enough for the other campers to hear, or the other hikers to hear. So we'll sit down, have some lunch, see what's around, and if need be, if nothing interesting shows up, I kind of want to see how hard that cliff face is to climb.
Jeez, Invar. Sure.
Sal, you're investigating the pool and looking around, taking bearings on your environment. And from where you're standing, the top of the waterfall is probably on the hypotenuse of the triangle, a good 90, 100 yards away or so.
Okay.
And even in the Umbra, the sunlight is glinting off the surface of the water and making distance and the top of the cliff a little hard to distinguish. But as you sort of shield your eyes slightly, you see a humanoid figure, more or less, poke its head up, look around for a brief moment. It definitely looks down to where the three of you are standing and then just turns and walks away.
We got company on this side, set up on top of the waterfall.
Blink, blink. Throw my vision back this way.
Okay. You don't see anything.
Yeah.
They looked humanoid, saw us and walked away. Did they look like they were trying to sneak? Or
Not
just sort of-
particularly, no. Mm-mm.
Okay.
As there is
Didn't
chance, though I acknowledge it very well may be other things, that is a response to our request for rendezvous.
Yeah, it didn't seem particularly hostile from what I could spot, but I say maybe we stay put, but hope for the best that they're sending out the welcome mat, but prepare for something nasty just in case.
Does it smell like anything weird over there? Sense worm. Someone please.
With my shitty nose, I try and see if it smells like anything.
Yeah, I don't think any of us. I think both people with sense worm are on the other
Hey,
side of the
that was
Umbra.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Oops.
Hold on.
Isn't there like a general rule that can be made for like detecting threats, even if you don't have the talent, or no?
Detect worm is sort of a supernatural ability
Yes.
to smell worms.
Right, yeah,
That's
but
not
in
what I'm
terms,
asking
in
about.
terms,
I
more
understand.
just like a situational awareness kind of thing, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can roll perception and primal urge.
Yeah. I thought so.
Yeah.
Ah,
Difficulty 6 if you're on that side of the gauntlet.
cool.
I'm going to.
But that makes sense. Anya's having a shitty day.
Poor
Wait,
Anya.
that might not
One
actually be a
success.
botch. Let me check.
Uh,
No, it's a botch. It's definitely a real
Yep,
botch.
that's definitely a real botch.
Oh
Yep.
right, yeah, because you don't have no, you have
Yep,
no
I've
primal
got
urge
one
on
god in that.
perception. When you roll one
Primal-
die and it's a 1.
So Anya, something lurks at the bottom of this pool. Something unknown, something ancient.
The Loch Ness monsters in this canyon lake.
Just because Aidan rolled really well previously, Anya's tapping has like intensified and definitely changed pattern.
Okay.
She's doing prime numbers right now, which is never a good sign.
Does Sal? What does Sal pick up on? With I only got one success.
Were you doing perception primal urge as well?
Yeah.
There's energy here. There's something waiting. It doesn't feel dangerous in the sense that a glacier is not inherently dangerous. Like if you fucked with it the wrong way, maybe. But right now there's a weight of existence here. You're not really able to get a good read on it particularly, but
Would 4 successes do it?
Aidan,
Nice.
you're looking around.
I've seen some shit.
You've seen some shit. Best not to disturb the water if you can. But you don't think anything bad is going to happen if you can manage to not fuck up the water.
Okay.
Specifically the pool and the ice. The waterfall, meh, it's a waterfall.
Right.
But as it's feeding into this pool, there's a concentration of elemental energies here that are probably, unless you really know what you're doing and have already taken the time to prepare for it, probably best left alone for now.
Cool. We're good. Just don't stay away from the water.
Yes.
Okay.
agreed.
We're
It's
good.
like
Everything's fine.
Sal adjusts his Yankees cap and says, "Yeah, it's like when you fucking dealing with Mets fans. If you don't fuck with them, you'll probably be all right. But you get them riled up, you got a problem."
Wow.
Okay, first of all, screw that. Always fuck with Mets fans because they're the worst.
Can I make a what role would be? Do I?
And yes,
know
that's
what
an
Mets and
in-character
Yankees
statement.
are?
That makes Sal so happy. He just breaks into a wide grin and slaps Aiden on the back.
Aidan falls into the pool. For Anya, go ahead and just give me an intelligence and just an intelligence +3.
All right.
To know the Chicago
Difficulty
Mets.
6.
The Chicago
2
Mets.
successes.
I forget what city they're from. I know the Mets.
New York.
New
Yeah,
York
New
Mets.
York-
That's it.
New York
I
Mets,
know
yeah.
enough about baseball
This-
to know what is
right.
being referenced.
Yep, you're like, yeah.
Okay.
Me and mixing
Sports
up
ball jokes.
me and mixing up large cities is just sort of the running gag at this point.
That's
Yes, I know enough about this from memorizing it for water cooler conversations I never have because I never leave my house.
100% valid.
Fair. Fuck Mets fans.
Now, Alex, where have you grouped up your people that are on that side of the gauntlet?
Well,
are you-
not near the water because that was specifically said.
Okay.
Kind of.
We have a picnic set up, like off to the side, closer to the cliff face. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and like trying to be just gonna be strategic. Close enough to the other group because I can tell that they are slightly uncomfortable by us because of Guru. That they think, oh yeah, no, we've seen enough of this. We're good. Maybe we'll let other people close so that they can take a look too. Because
So you've sort of edged over close to that group
Yes.
to try it.
Passively intimidate them to
Yeah.
go away.
Right, yeah,
Passive aggressive.
passive aggressive herding of
Intimidation.
the mortals. Okay.
Yep.
It's a shame you don't have anybody with you on that side who seems like they'd be really good at irritating people just by proximity.
Okay.
Alex, go ahead and give me a manipulation and intimidation.
Can I-
All right.
56.
Can I apply appearance and intimidation to that?
This is definitely a manipulation thing. We're going for
Okay.
passive aggression, not overt aggression.
Aggression.
Intimidation. All right.
I'm just picturing
Difficulty
Ingvar going
6.
over like, "Do you even lift, bro?"
No, she's not saying anything. She's just
I
doing
feel
this
like
with
Anya
body
and
language.
Sal are the people who are potentially best at this.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Tag me in,
God.
coach. I can irritate people even when I'm not trying.
0 successes though, because I rolled
Okay.
like crap.
It takes a while,
Yep.
but eventually 3 of them sort of get up and edge their way around your group, giving you guys a wide berth and head back down the trail.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a group of 5 who are just kind of there.
Okay.
That photographer is still just kind of, clicking away. Doesn't really seem to be paying attention to anything but the water and the geology.
You guys need some help?
I don't know what kind of help you are implying, and I am slightly worried about it. There's 5 of them.
People gone. Actually, are we sure these aren't? Well, are these the people that we will eventually be
Try
looking
and
for?
listen to what Dustbringer is saying.
Dustbringer has apparently gone down and is trying to panhandle some food off of these 5 hikers.
Ah.
Reasonably successfully. One of them throws him like half a Cliff Bar, and he just grabs it and flies back up.
I can't believe
rocks.
that. Yeah, the tracks.
Well, Cal's not constantly feeding him today. So.
No, there's 5 of them still here. They've
All right.
taken photographs.
Well, we're at where we need to be, right?
Up the cliff, but yeah.
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 So
We need to find
the
a
West
hidden
Umbral
place to
side,
head back.
back off to a spot where we're not just going to be popping out of nowhere right in front of them.
Coordinating with the people who can see what it looks like on the physical side.
Uh-huh.
Can I use my very specific memory of this entire trail to...
Basically find yourselves a secluded place to come
Yeah.
back across the gauntlet. Yeah, no, not too hard at all.
Okay. Yep. Hakao, if you could...
Of course.
We really only have one person who can consistently cross us across the gauntlet where it's not easy.
That's
Hakao
definitely
basically-
never going to be a problem.
Hakao basically grabs your guys' shoulders and just steps forward, and you guys just crunch out into a little sandy spot, kind of surrounded by a number of scrubby-looking trees.
For the record, I could do it okay, but I don't have the thing that makes it easier.
Yeah, glasses.
I need to dedicate a mirror to myself.
Anya will...
There's a
Well, your
pool
cell
of water.
phone
that
has
would
a
work just
reflective
fine.
screen when it's not
Ah,
on.
god damn it, yeah.
Anya will... Alex, should we present as part of your group or a separate group of hikers?
Separate group. 8 of us. It's 8, right? Yeah. Or 7. I cannot do math.
7 of you guys.
7 is kind of a big. They're a big group. They're
Good
5.
call.
All right. I should stay back, I assume?
To be honest, that might actually not be bad to have you in the mix. I assume we're trying to clear them out of here in as peaceful of a fashion as possible, right?
Yes, but not in a way that they remember. No offense, Anya. The big horned one.
None taken. I agree with Aidan, though it is Alex's call. Aidan, by any chance, is your flask an item that you have dedicated and I could potentially borrow?
Are you asking if I drink so much that I actually dedicated a flask to myself?
No, I am asking if I have anything that could potentially make it easier to appear heavily drunk if it is absolutely necessary.
Oh,
Good news for you. The answer to both is yes.
Yeah, I also got you covered. Sal pats the satchel.
Oh, God. Okay, cool. Yeah, Alex, I think I should stay back, but it is your choice at the moment.
Yeah, for now we'll bring it out if we need something impressive.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm pretty sure Sal and I can irritate, annoy, infuriate these people more than enough.
Sal pulls out an absolutely ridiculously huge Bluetooth battery-operated Bluetooth speaker, and he's like,
God.
"Yeah, I think we got this one."
Jesus Christ.
I'm thinking of all the things I hate in real life while camping.
Jack,
Yeah.
is this little alcove we found far enough off the trail that I wouldn't be seen by someone heading out?
Unless they specifically like turned to look for you, yeah, you're pretty much.
I'm gonna stay down, but I'm probably gonna stay in Hamid form. Yeah.
Okay.
There.
All right. Go ahead and roll me another dexterity stealth. Given your position, we'll call it difficulty 4.
All right. Come on, dexterity. I actually have a lot of that one. The +3 mod is gone, but difficulty is 4.
Yep.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
So you just sit yourself down and try to relax as best you can, which isn't
Which
going
is not
great,
well.
but right.
Like I'm just gonna say that that's probably part of why. Not
right.
Not doing great.
Okay. And the rest of the gang goes to the pool once more.
Yep.
All right. So you guys arrive there. There's a knot of 5 hikers, and they sort of look over.
I imagine
you guys
we started
coming.
loud conversation a little bit before.
Yeah.
About the Mets or what?
No.
Okay.
But because fuck the Mets. No, Aidan is going to be the most uneducated tourist, like clearly going somewhere because it was on the guide map and
Absolutely missing out on the point of hiking in a marginally pristine wilderness environment.
like right now Aidan wishes that he had time to go back and get like a fucking Vespa or something.
Okay.
Sal, meanwhile, is saying to Aidan as they're coming around the corner, "Man, you are not fucking kidding about putting on deodorant downstairs, if you know what I mean. Because my thighs are chafing so much, it's like I'm trying to start a fucking fire down
Right?
Oh God! Hey, is this the place we're looking for? Hey, how are you guys doing?"
And I walk completely by the our group.
Right.
And yeah, I'm looking straight at these people.
Ingvar's like halfway through a sandwich and just looks up as the shit show approaches. It's just like, oh no.
All right, the two of you give me manipulation and subterfuge. I'm gonna say at this point, with the two of you working together, difficulty 5.
As Sal cranks the volume on the Bluetooth speaker and starts playing, of course, Careless Whisper. And we lowered the difficulty one more point.
Oh! Before we get to this point,
But wait,
can I
there's
have,
more.
before we started, activated persuasion?
Sure.
So I will roll that. What is it? Charisma subterfuge.
Oh no.
One way to clear out a beach.
One of many.
Holy shit.
6. All right, that's good enough. So, persuasion. for those unfamiliar, lowers the difficulty of all social rolls for the rest of the scene and allows successful rolls to have uncommonly strong impact.
Yay!
The examples they give to give you an idea of how strong an impact are such as changing long-held political views or causing an addict to seriously reconsider the course of his life. I'm pretty sure annoy tourists away from spot is gonna be on that list.
I would say probably.
Moved by the spirit of the spell, Sal changes tracks and starts playing Venga Bus.
So does that then make the manipulation plus subterfuge difficulty 4?
For you, yes.
Sweet.
Still 5 for me.
Still 5 for you.
Even with Venga Bus.
Yeah.
That's 5 successes.
And another 2 for me. Wait, attribute 0. Oh, I'm still a wolf.
Yeah, go
Reset
ahead
your
and roll
form.
that since you technically did shift back. So a wolf with a Bluetooth speaker comes trailing out of the scrub.
Oh yeah, no, this is my
Definitely
pet
cleared out,
Sal.
but not what we're looking for.
Right. So with 5 successes from Aidan and 4 from Sal, this group just is like, yeah, nope. We've had our fill. First, you had a trio of just creepy ass motherfuckers that looked like they were going to rip somebody apart despite not being dressed for those sort of activities at all. And then these 2 chuckle fucks.
New season of Jersey Shore.
And a dude with an eye patch for no goddamn reason. Why not? We're leaving.
I'm pretty
Within
sure
5
that our own
minutes-
pack mates are leaving at this point. We were so
Within
annoyed.
5 minutes, the Wings of the Mojave Pack has command of the icebox runoff pool.
Can you turn that shit off, please?
Turn it up.
No.
You sure you don't want me to do the
I have
dance?
gotten the
Yep.
full and complete actual specific
want you to
all
do
clear
that.
from someone. I will head over.
Yeah,
Here, Anya.
we're clear.
All right.
Dakota,
You
Dakota
have
has
boom,
encouraged
boom,
Sal.
boom, boom.
Yes.
I will return the flask and satchel things that I received as potential.
Sal's doing the creepy old man dance from the commercials.
If you keep playing that shit, they're not gonna come out of hiding.
No,
Um,
they'll come out so they can kill us.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Still gets him out, but Sal turns it off.
I'm
He's still doing the
looking,
dance though.
because it
Dakota is joining him.
Yes! Favorite moment of the campaign.
We are clearly making a good impression for Alex. No, Aidan does not join in the dance.
Anya desperately wishes for plug and play. For
Probably
probably not the
Fair.
first time.
Where did you see someone watching you from?
The top of the waterfall, I believe. Sal? He's
Yeah, right up there. They went off. I guess it's possible they was expecting us to follow, but probably not the best idea.
Well, shall we start climbing? Since apparently up from the top of that cliff is also where we're going to be able to see the rock, too.
Yeah.
How difficult a climb does it look like?
It's about 40, 50 feet of sandstone. Not great.
Okay, I know I had, like, overnight delivery of some hiking equipment. I don't know if that would be helpful in this situation at all.
This is something that would require climbing equipment specifically.
Which I didn't know enough to get, I think.
Yeah, it was there wasn't much to indicate that climbing was going to be necessary or required for this because unfortunately the details on the internet that were
someone's
available
Instagram
were
photo or whatever.
basically,
Yeah.
you were like, yep, it's up there somewhere.
I think Hekau and I at least could get up there pretty easy. Actually, out of character question.
Yeah.
Does city running work when you are not in the city? I don't think it does.
I don't believe so.
Okay, never mind. Sal does not say that.
Let me take a look, though.
Sorry about that. Had a cat situation.
It may climb urban features at full movement speed, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
so if
Not
there
an
was
urban
like an
feature.
urban feature built into this, you would have no
Quick, put a
trouble
ladder up.
climbing it,
That'll.
but,
Quick, I'll close my eyes and y'all tell me it's a building.
Not how that works, but funny anyway.
Around this pond, nobody's running with their eyes closed. I am playing goddamn lifeguard.
Well,
Um,
if need be, I can probably carry Hekau up.
I mean,
I am not a great climber outside of my natural form.
Oh, we did just clear the place out, so.
did anybody bring some rope? I mean, maybe some of us can get up there.
Probably. I didn't bring climbing.
What are the odds that Hekau has rope in the magpie swag?
He does not have rope in the magpie.
Anya
swag.
will toss over what's potentially not the most helpful thing, which is one of those bracelets that's made of like carbon band,
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Yes.
Oh,
You know, the
yeah.
emergency rope.
Polycord bracelet, yeah.
Thank you.
Paracord.
Yes, that's what it's
Yeah.
called.
Or paracord, as the case may be.
Paracord.
But yes.
Whichever one it is called. You guys all know what I'm talking about, the hiker
Yes.
things.
Yep.
That-
It is not strong enough to hold human, I don't think, but it is
I
something.
mean,
It could be. I mean, at least it could be something one of us could get up there with it and then toss it down, and at least we could use it. Maybe not to haul somebody up, but at least to brace on a climb.
That is what I understand it is used for.
all right. So who's gonna start climbing?
Ingvar will offer to carry Hekau since Hekau is like half out of commission in terms of physical activity.
Sal will go ahead and start climbing.
All right. What
Just-
form is everybody taking for this?
Just for clarification,
Yeah.
there are the rocks. The climbable portions of the rocks, because this isn't necessarily the case for every
Mhm.
waterfall pond rock area. There's a place we can climb up where if we fall, we won't land in the pool, right?
Oh yeah.
We'll just land
Just
on the
on the
ground and then
rocks.
break bones.
Right. You'll just
That's
land
where
on
we're
a.
going because
You'll
there's
just land on a
something in
jagged
that.
bed of sandstone and granite. Yeah.
That's better than in the water.
Right.
Just my bones
I
and
will.
organs.
Springer, can you continue to keep a lookout in case anyone's coming back?
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm gonna go Krynos because I'm bad at climbing. I need
Yeah,
every
same.
advantage I can get.
Same.
Also, if I
Same.
fall, I'll be fine in like half a minute in Krynos form.
Well, you'll be fine in any form because you heal in all your forms.
Yep.
That is
Mhm.
fair. Okay.
Should
in
we
that
cross over?
context, is this more of a dexterity thing or a strength?
This is going to be a straight strength thing.
I'm
Yep.
going Krynos, just because I can do it automatically and it's
Yep.
really
Yep.
the best shot I've got.
This side for sure, Sal. This side we are less likely if somehow, because well, we're us, so luck happens to befall us and one of us were to fall in the
Wow.
pool, we're not going to wait. We are going to be less likely to be immediately affected by something.
Well, Ingvar's not able to get out of Glabro into Krynos, so she's going to climb in Glabro.
It's just a failure. It wasn't a botch.
No, I know, but it's just like, wow, that was 8 dice, and it's...
Yep.
Sure. Try one more
What
time.
roll is it that for climbing here?
Now it's a botch. No, yeah,
Still not a
she's...
botch.
There was a success.
You got
There's
successes in
successes
there.
in
There were successes in there. It's like, what the hell is happening? Stop that.
All right. So
Stop
anybody-
it!
So anybody who's trying to climb, as Ingvar's over here, like,
No, no.
Wait.
After 3 times, no, she's just fucking climbing.
Spend rage. Okay.
Anybody-
I won't say it. I won't say it. Okay.
all right.
Actually,
so-
no.
Woo!
You will say. Do you need somebody? Do you need? Is it going to be easier if you just grab onto somebody?
No, that is the opposite of what I'm saying here. I am the physically strongest person here to carry a cow.
Right.
All right.
Okay, so
Aidan was providing anger-based motivation.
Are you? Are you? If you're not in Krynos?
Yes, in Glabro, my strength is 6.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, but in Krynos, mine is 7.
So I mean, sure, I'll spend a rage. Go to strength 8.
You said it's strength athletics.
it's going to be strength and athletics, difficulty 8.
Sure, let's spend that rage.
Okay.
Does he get a free one? Does William get a free one from? Or well, I guess not William, but does Ingvar get a free one?
Not yet.
I'm gonna
Is this
carry.
something we can spend willpower on?
The climbing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the-
I'm
You
doing
can spend
what's-
a willpower.
What's my difficulty carrying Hikau?
So carrying a
Thank
cow, you're
fuck,
going to be
I succeeded at something. Anya's so freaked out that she's scampering at this point.
Damn, look at Anya go.
Um,
So that's going to increase your difficulty by 1.
Alright, so
so
difficulty
9
9.
for
Alright.
climbing with somebody hanging from your neck.
Wait, that's the wrong roll. That's
I will spend a willpower
how
on
is
this.
that? Why is there a +3? There shouldn't be. Oh wait, no, that's from
That's your
the
strength.
unit.
What are we rolling for climbing?
So climbing will be strength and athletics, difficulty 8.
Oh no, I was looking at Sal's roll. I still rolled fine.
Yes. you still roll.
Does my strength reserves specialty in strength apply here?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Dakota.
It's a good goddamn good thing I spent willpower.
Yep.
0.
What is with my dice rolls?
Does Anastasia still have the rope, or did she give that to someone else?
Probably would have. I didn't know what order we're going in. Whoever was going first, it would have just been in either wristband form or like handed to if they're in Krynos.
Yeah.
Well,
So we'll
since-
say either Alex or Aidan has
Yeah.
the rope.
Yeah. Yeah. Alex would have waited, and then upon seeing Ingvar just sort of struggling over there, just go.
All right. So currently, 3 of you in fairly quick succession. Aidan takes a little while, but doesn't really lag all that much. Is just taking his time to make sure his handholds are secure. Whereas the rest of you just take those, 4 to 6 inch claws and just hook them in and go full ham up the side of this rock wall. Dakota and Ingvar are currently down, just trying to look and see where their best options are. There's a couple sort of half attempts of setting, but not really finding the footing or the grip that they're hoping to get started on. And now is like, yep, well, once we get into, then I'll grab and yeah.
So I'll try again, spend another willpower.
Alex,
Aiden is being good and
I will
holding
make
back
sure
and
the
not
rope
say-
goes down to help the people.
Yeah.
Now.
yeah.
Okay, if you're including the rope, then your difficulty drops to 7 or 8 if you're carrying somebody.
Okay, so yeah, so I'll take.
Aiden is being good and not saying, would it
So
be
difficulties-
easier if you just went lupus and tied yourself to the rope?
There we go. So 4 successes.
4 successes. All right. So Ingvar, you're able to grab on and
Yeah.
utilizing the rope at those moments
that's-
when
that- that's
there's
with the
not an
carrying
easy
a cow
grip in
calculated.
place. Yeah, right. You manage to scramble up, Dakota right on your heels, and the group of you, after you set Hikau down, are at the top of the waterfall.
Alex switches back to Hamid because she can't see in Krynos.
Okay.
It's too bright. We're
Yeah.
out of the shade.
Yep.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna
You
switch.
you guys
I am
are in a
ducking
much more.
down so that I'm not visible as much as possible from
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Ingvar shifts back to Glabro.
All right.
To the top.
Okay. Go ahead and anybody who's looking around, just give me a perception and alertness, difficulty 6.
Okay.
4.
None of my dice rolls are just
Ooh.
awful today.
1.
2.
Perception alertness difficulty. What you said?
6.
6. Okay. Nothing. I don't expect anything off of perception alertness though. So
So Ingvar, you're just kind of catching your breath. Sal, you look over and probably less than a quarter mile away, there's a tall, wind-sculpted spire of sandstone. Close, but not up against the cliff and mountain sides that sort of form the upper table of this canyon. It's pretty apparent, and after a moment, the rest of you, with the exception of Ingvar, also notice what it is that Sal's looking at. Less
He'll
than a quarter
point it out.
mile away. It's probably about 30-ish feet tall, maybe a little shorter than that. And Anya, you definitely recognize it as what you had the photograph of.
Do I recognize any of this from my time out in the desert? Does any of this seem like more familiar as I'm walking through stuff? At all?
Go ahead and roll me just a straight intelligence check, difficulty 6.
Okay. One success.
None of the sights seem familiar. The sounds and the smells definitely do, though.
Okay.
And not just in the, oh yeah, more desert. Desert sounds and smells like desert, but specifically this water, there's a tinge of recognition as you breathe in the air that's sort of been washed and mixed with this stream. The dust and the plant growth, definitely there's a level of recognition that you have. This small water course and the greasewood trees that are nearby growing out of the soil. There's familiarity there, absolutely. But reduced, kind of faded somehow almost. You were expecting it to be stronger, more prevalent, more intense.
Okay. I think, yeah, this seems kind of familiar.
What would you like us to do?
And we don't see, in all of the looking around, no figures, anything like that up here.
No living things other than your normal flora and fauna.
Sal
Did
did
it-
see something on the other side of the veil.
Yeah, that was my thought, is crossing over and saying our hellos there.
Think
Should
we oughta.
proceed
Saw
over now,
people.
or when we reach the rock?
Now it's polite to say hello before you get,
Yep.
Right on someone's doorstep.
We probably shouldn't do an opening. Hello, Hal, until we're out of earshot of humans.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Okay.
a pretty solid fucking idea.
Look
Looks
over
at
at
the
Cow
cow.
again.
All right. He will continue to be the Theurge battery.
Yay.
Make his rolls for him real quick.
We really should have spec more than one character to be able to make this
Again.
roll really.
I can do it. It's
Yeah.
just, why would I when we've got our battery?
That's fair.
Oh wait, that reduces the difficulty of the gauntlet by 2, not by 1.
Or I guess I should say, why use the battery when we have the straight cord plugging into the socket?
Right. Why go wireless when you've got a hard connection? And yeah, once again, he just reaches out with his hand and pulls those claws across the air in front of you. And the gauntlet folds open like it's been cut by a scalpel, and he just ushers all of you through one after another until you're standing in a much more heavily overgrown version of the area you were. The stream is a little broader, a little more vibrant, a little more energetic. And the greasewood trees grow up around you to a point that you've only probably got 20, 30 yards visibility in any given direction. And Alex, that odor hits you in the face. This is what you actually remember.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is it. All right.
You follow the stream.
Yep. Because I vaguely remember that Galliards have like a greeting thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do either of you, I look over at Dakota and
The
and
greeting howl can be performed in Krynos, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
And the howls can be taught to most people, but the Galliards are the ones who are supposed to know them.
I assume Anya has forcibly learned all of them because violently wants to be a better Galliard. Dakota's still Hamid, right?
She's Krynos right now.
So Anya will look at her and shrug. Would you prefer to, or I can?
I mean, is it insulting if both of us do it?
Jack?
No.
really.
Mm-mm.
No, that's
Galliard's working in concert is perfectly acceptable, yeah.
All right, yeah. Doing that thing, I will remind you that I have a bonus to interactions with other Guru for having pure blood.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pure breed and any other backgrounds or advantages will apply here. Between the two of you working together, each of you can roll charisma and either etiquette or performance.
We're going with etiquette.
Okay.
I'm going with performance.
All right. Difficulty 6.
And Alex will join in because that seems right. It's charisma and etiquette was one of the options you said?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jack,
What
can
difficulty
I
is
spend a
that?
willpower?
Yes, you can spend a willpower on it.
Spending the last of my willpower because Anya really wants to get this right.
No problem. Difficulty 6 if you're a Galliard, 7 otherwise.
Okay.
E.
4 successes.
1 success.
3.
All right. The three of you howl in concert, going through the howl of introduction, starting with Aidan, working your way down the ladder, naming each member of the pack, naming the septs and totems that you originated at, but are now currently affiliated with the tribe, and ending with the Hawkshead House, the Halfway House. Wrong campaign. Ending with the Hawkshead House Cairn.
Said it again.
God damn it! I need to stop that. Right. Ending with the Halfway House Cairn. I left it up to most of you guys, but yeah, sure. That's probably mostly on me. Ending with the Halfway House Cairn as your most recent sort of point of origin. And after the howl concludes, there's just a silence interrupted only by the babble of the water here. And then a figure steps out from between two of the larger greasewood trees nearby. All of you who had taken time to sort of look at your surroundings, there was nobody there a minute ago. And then suddenly stepping out from something that was far too narrow to have fully concealed her body is an older woman. Her hair is dark, as are her eyes. Her skin is fairly pale, although weathered. and with a bit of scarring across the right cheek. She smiles, and the teeth are jagged almost. Definitely wolf teeth held in the mouth of what otherwise appears human. So you were able to find your way back, child.
Yeah.
And you have brought others with you. You see her lips narrow a little bit as she looks at several members of your pack that are, shall we say, not female.
Do I notice that?
Give me a perception etiquette. Difficulty 6.
3 successes.
You do. You definitely do.
Okay. I am not a fan of this woman.
Oh,
Actually,
Sal
I'll
just
roll that 'cause I
Sal
have
smiles and
both of
waves,
those.
but doesn't say anything.
Difficulty 6. Okay.
My
Nope,
name is
Ingvar doesn't quite notice.
My name is Agatha. And if you are the young Corv's pack, then we welcome you to the Grove of the Desert Knife. Come.
Thank you.
She turns and just begins to walk off through the greasewoods.
Over the link because it's easier than out loud in this context. Dakota, is she sort of trying to imply without saying aloud in a way that might upset a certain party member? Can you sense for?
Oh, sure.
Perception and occult. Difficulty 5.
One success.
You reach out your senses and just sort of inhale that kind of concept of essence. And there's nothing there. Like, not even the base residual that you... It's like, this is like looking for germs in an operating room.
Good, squeaky clean.
Almost,
Too clean.
to an extent, terrifyingly clean.
Purity of essence.
Okay.
I
Sure.
will fall in this step next to Alex.
Yep, she's already
We're
like
going.
looked
Yep.
back at the rest of you and
Yeah.
Head
Anya will
following.
stay directly next to Cal.
All right. Is anybody not following?
Nope.
She walks down a little ways and then immediately steps into the stream, which hits her just below the knees, and just begins walking straight. This area of the water is still cool, but not with those sort of chunks of ice and everything that had been flowing on it. For those of you that had seen it on the Umbra side previously, it's a little more in keeping. There's a harmonious level, a little bit more balance, a little bit more similarity to the temperatures that you guys had seen in the canyon initially on the material side. She walks down the stream bed, following its every curve for about 500-600 yards or so. And as you walk slowly, you can start to see the Knife of the Desert rock formation beginning to be able to be visible better between the greasewood trees. And then eventually she steps out onto the bank in front of a small, rough, sort of stone-walled shelter. The roof of it thatched down with branches and leaves. And there's a little bit of smoke rising from a point just behind it. Eventually, a blanket that covers the door is pushed aside, and two more figures step out. One of them, a woman of middle age, probably seems to be about 20 years younger than Agatha, who's your current guide. And the third one, a girl who seems to be in late teens. She turns, standing next to these three, and just kind of watches you as you begin to pick your way out of the stream bed.
Hello. You heard the greeting. This is everyone. This is Agatha, Olive, and Brittany, and I'm pointing sequentially going down in age at the people.
They kind of give you polite, solemnish smiles. Welcome to the Grove. What brings you here?
I have a lot of questions. A lot of stuff has happened.
It is not your turn to speak yet, daughter. And their eyes go to Aidan.
Okay, as that's happening, do these people seem like real, alive, just a little weird because they live in the woods?
Give me an intelligence.
All of the above.
Oh,
Difficulty
there's no
7.
social way I can. Okay.
If you're wanting to get an idea on the social dynamic, you can give me an intelligence and etiquette, difficulty 7.
Yeah, more that side of things.
Okay,
I know
gotcha.
I can't tell if they're ghosts. I want to know if they're behaving like people, like I would expect.
Okay.
Intelligence and etiquette, difficulty 7. Cool. No, but not a botch.
Okay.
It was 3 1s.
Hard to get a read on this. There is definitely social dynamic that's happening here, but you're still sort of feeling out the fabric of it.
Right.
And you're definitely aware that there is a unusual social dynamic going on here as well. But their eyes are on Aidan right now.
First of all, thank you for allowing us in. I'm alpha for this for Alex's pack, and obviously the rest of them. Which has been for a moderately short time, but in that time we've learned a few things about Alex's how Alex came to be where she was most recently, and that has brought, understandably, a lot of questions. If you have the answers and you are gracious enough and willing to share, it is something that I think could benefit her greatly.
She is ready. This from the middle one. Olive.
Is that said as a question or as a statement?
As a statement.
Okay.
She pauses and then repeats it. She is ready. This story should have been told to her after she finished her rite. But she was gone, and therefore we could not. The youngest one then chimes in. At this time, we can leave the choice up to her.
Fucking oracles.
Blood sister, does your whole pack hear the story, or do you alone?
Over the mental link, Sal just says, totally your call.
Yep.
I'd like to hear it, and I'd like Aidan to
At
hear
this
it.
point, actually, so Sal,
Yeah.
you go to send that message over the mental link. You say it out loud.
Well, I'm glad I didn't say anything else.
Look, if you goddamn, I can think of so many ways that could have gone wrong
Yeah.
itself. So.
Sal is 100% here just as cheerleader and moral support. So,
Alex.
but I think he also because your call. What the fuck?
I look back at the rest of the group. I think I need to make a roll for if Alex has picked up that Anya is kind of agitated, because we've been
Oh, yeah.
separated for a while, and I don't know if she's picked
Jack,
up.
what's the keep your
I think that would
composure
make it.
roll?
I would say that's probably charisma and subterfuge.
All right.
And contested by wits and empathy. Both of
Okay.
these at difficulty 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, 2 successes.
Okay. So same roll. She's doing better. There's definitely some discomfort. There's definitely some positioning. Anya has been basically silent since the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
If Alex picks up on anything from that, or just is like, this is a me situation, both are really valid at this point.
Okay. Yeah, Alex, I need to hear it, and I think Aidan does, but if the rest can wait.
That is not
Not
the
a-
choice you were given. You or your entire pack.
My pack. Me and my pack.
Brittany smiles.
Or
The
did
choice
she
is
mean
made.
the pack and not me?
No,
Okay.
it's basically,
Got it.
do we tell you this, or do we tell
Okay.
everybody this?
Cool. Yeah. Should go with everyone.
And Agatha points off to her left. Make yourselves comfortable. And there's a couple of benches and grassy area that's just sort of open as the three of them go into the house and start bringing out food.
Yeah, Alex will go sit down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, a spread is laid out on the grass. Mostly meat and fruit, a little bit of cheese, and just water they pull straight from the stream.
I know enough myth to not eat or drink anything.
They
Sal
sit
pulls
down.
out bottles of Perrier from the satchel.
As you do that, there's a hand on your wrist. And Olive, the middle one, is looking at you very quietly, very calmly. Put away that man's work, young one.
Sal will pause and then just put it back in the satchel.
We have provided everything that is needed. You have much to learn.
You know, fish in that, right?
She gives you a smile but doesn't answer.
Everything else, it all cycles through.
I don't know if Anya gets a rage from this.
I made a willpower roll to see if Sal could keep quiet. I did not succeed.
Yeah, but you weren't bad. That was good.
I didn't
Anya
botch.
is simmering at the respect the other tribes. You fucking reason that this nonsense is falling apart.
Is any of that over the mental link, or is that just internal?
Oh no, that is
Please
me
don't
telling
do it
the
over the mental
GM
link.
Right.
what is going on with the character. Who
I don't know.
has
I say
successfully
please
kept
do it
it
over the mental.
on the
Right.
under wraps.
That was an internal monologue there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everybody is eventually set up. They sit down, and each of them takes a bite of something.
Yeah, Alex will follow suit.
Okay.
I am following custom,
Sounds good.
letting them take the lead.
Mm-hmm. The food is passed around. And Brittany begins. When we first found Alex, she was stumbling out of the city, having just had her first change. We followed her as closely as we could. We have been watching the events as they unfold in the city for quite a while now. Olive picks up. We could not, of course, help her until she managed to cross the gauntlets. And as soon as we did so, we brought her here, knowing something of her background. She was born under a half-blood moon, with Mars in the sky and Neptune falling close behind. These are signs, perhaps not specific, but clear enough for those that can read them. Agatha takes over. We knew the thought that had kept her sequestered for so long. And while it was made out of a sense of preservation, it did not allow for her to grow into the woman that she would need to be. There is a prophecy over this one. And as long as we kept her with us, it would not come to pass. But at some point, she would need to be let go to follow her own way so that her destiny might manifest in the proper time. Olive speaks up again, having just swallowed whatever it was she was eating. The first time this one's blood soaks the earth in battle, We speak of Gaia proper, on the other side of the gauntlet. That is the opening call for a conflict that will reshape the face of this city. If she could be protected or kept in the Umbra, that event, of course, was unlikely to happen. And so the members of her home sept kept her hidden and away from any sort of conflict or war of any sort. But we are the protectors of Gaia, Brittany interrupts, and therefore battle is one of the places where we belong. And Alexandra, you will not be able to hide from this fate forever. Your adventures into the spirit world, into the shadows, away from the solid physical earth underneath your feet, are safer. And so, knowing who and what you were, those who birthed you and raised you kept you limited on your activities on that side of the gauntlet. Now, however, Agatha interrupts, you have found a pack. A pack that must go and face threats. The time of your bloodshed is approaching soon. Be ready, for when this one's blood reaches the soil, things will get dark very quickly. Do you understand? All three of their eyes on you now, Alex.
Yes.
You hold this future in your own hands now. You can choose to live as we do, now by necessity, less by choice, to avert this ever coming to pass. Or you can face the bonds of fate that have woven themselves around your life thread. Embrace it and see what happens.
Hide out here forever. The city needs a little bit of shaking up. At least. What does Park Soon-A have to do with what was decided about me?
For one who is still of the nation, as she is, her eyes see very far. She was midwife to your mother, saw the omens, and explained them somewhat, as best she could, to those that rule your city. They, of course, responding as men do, made the decision based on the information that she provided to them. She was the vanguard of your fate. She was the first to read it. She would have made a good Fury, but her eyes are drawn to the stars.
And Walter, there we go. There's the name. Walter Hempstead.
That is a man with his head up his ass.
Yep.
Can I tell if that's because his actual role or just because, oh, I like women. Oh, I don't like men.
Go ahead and give me a... Honestly, probably a wits and empathy on that one. Difficulty 7.
No. Well,
Yep.
Yeah, it's not an empathy specialty.
Difficult to say. But her follow-up gives it a little bit of clarity. He is a man focused on protection and control, and thinks the more things that he can account for and manage, the better off everyone will be.
That fits.
He lives too much in the present and does not consider the larger field of vision that is available to our people. He thinks he looks to the future, but in all honesty, he has only forgotten the past.
Good to know. Not surprising, but good to know.
I look to Aidan. I want to discuss our shared fate as our pack as well. Question mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
A few nights ago at a moot to discuss how things are changing, a prophecy was given. Do I know who has the paper with it written down?
If you don't, it's unlikely that Alex does.
Okay.
Oh,
fair enough.
Sorry.
It spoke of me and Hakao, and that we needed to, and it was interpreted as our pack needed to go into the battlefield, which is why I was let out of the city again.
Do you need it recited, Alex?
Yes.
And Anya will, word for word perfect, intonation and all, just how it was said at the thing.
All right.
Do I get a performance roll for that?
Yep, you can roll. Go ahead and roll me a charisma and performance, difficulty 6.
All right. Like, Anya knows the words, but she's also trying to galliard at them.
Yeah,
do I
definitely.
get that bonus for charisma checks regarding other guru?
Yes,
Awesome.
definitely.
That's plus...
Yeah, pure breed will definitely play into this
How
one.
many dots of pure breed did I take? 4. Awesome.
Yep.
That's right, because I'm slightly less pure breed than our proper pure breed. 3.
3 successes. All right. Yep.
Um,
So with proper dramatic intonation, you declaim Silverstein's message that was delivered at the moot. They give you a nod and sort of bend the 3 of their heads together for a moment.
oh.
These statements were made to guide you, it seems. I do not know what threat currently faces your city, specifically.
A weaver spirit
Hmm.
called
Regional administrator.
the regional administrator has reacted to the opening of a new cairn opened by us 2 weeks ago. Is that correct timeline wise?
Roughly.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It unbalanced things, and the spider is reacting.
Well, then I would follow this message, closely. The children of Uktena excel in binding the worm so that its destruction and corruption spread as slowly and as little as possible, but they also can be equally adept at destroying the webs of the weaver. It is not as glorious a battle because it is not focused on the most glorious of threats, but their lost knowledge in the past, if you can find it, may be indeed what you need in order to arm yourselves against this spidery bureaucrat. There is not much we know of this regional administrator, despite the decades we have watched over these lands. We keep to the wild places. So unfortunately, there is likely little we can tell you that will be of direct application to this threat. But if you have questions, Blood Sister, ask them now.
Oh, I don't think she'd have anything specific. So she just kind of goes, not that I can think of now. I would like to be able to reach out and get answers, though, in the future.
You have found your way back. You know where we live.
Yes.
Anybody who has occult can go ahead and roll me intelligence and occult difficulty 7 at this point.
Okay.
I am assuming no also, but there is no cell reception out here, right?
No, not even a little.
Oops, that was actually a difficulty 8.
Also,
Oops.
we're in the Umbra. Makes it even harder.
No.
It's
I'm not talking about. I'm not
clear.
talking about making a call right now. I just knowing in general.
Yep.
Nope. Nothing.
You said intelligence and occult.
Yep.
I got 1.
I got one also.
I have nothing.
Difficulty what?
7.
It says climbing, but it was not climbing.
Okay.
But I rolled like it was climbing because I didn't see that.
So, Alex, as you're sort of considering this and rolling your history with these individuals back in your mind, and Aidan, as you've just been watching and trying to
Yep.
absorb as much as possible sitting here, you're realizing that while probably they were at one time, these 3 are not Garu. They are 100% spirits.
Fucking oracles.
And both of you have heard of ancestor spirits, which are,
Yeah.
beings that were once Garu, born into the nation, members of a tribe, worked and fought and bled for Gaia, and for whatever reason, transited into the Umbra more or less full time until their physical body ceased to exist and they became one with the shadow. That's what these 3 are. And Alex, you're starting to realize that the entire time you were with them, you were in the Umbra and you just didn't know it.
Yep. Okay. Whew.
So I'm not gonna leave him a phone.
Well, to be fair, you
I was gonna
don't
say,
know
Sal,
yet.
you have no idea.
You
As
may
far as you're
still leave
concerned,
them a phone.
you're having an Umbra picnic with three ladies, one of whom is at least 20 years your junior. Maybe not 20.
She's 4?
I mean, could be lupus.
If she's
so
lupus,
you don't know.
yeah, fair. I mean, not that honestly would take away from
Right.
an interpretation of the maiden mother crone thing.
Oh yeah,
It would actually make the whole thing much creepier.
Right.
She's like,
there's definitely
"Get
that.
Perrier away.
Yeah, there's definitely that. It was the mother one that told you to put the Perrier away.
Okay.
Have you traveled through the battlefield before? We are not sure what the journey will be like, what we may need, what we do.
Kind of sure, just not on the specifics. We know it's gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. We just don't.
But
we've
now I know
never
they're
been.
spirits, so I think maybe.
Right.
It has been many decades since the 3 of us were there.
Makes sense.
It will reach into your minds to reveal itself to you. There will be things there that you need to see. There will be things there that you may want to see that are not actually what you are there for. There will be things there that you may need to see that you very much do not want to see. It is difficult to keep one's focus, one's mind attuned to the objective in the midst of such violence and chaos. Inside all of us, even the quietest And Anya, you see Brittany's eyes sort of drift over to you briefly.
Does this activate my compulsion?
It may.
Great. I need to check exactly what that does.
Sure.
Can someone else pull up the PDF and look at the details of compulsion? Because
yeah.
my computer will not handle it. So just put it in chat. I'll figure it out.
you can pull it up. Unfortunately, the stream then dies.
Yeah.
and we don't want that to happen. Not because the computer's running that slow, but because this PDF is 400 some pages long.
Yep.
Also, holy shit,
So
there are a lot of role-playing PDFs with the word compulsion in them.
You can, so basically yes, it definitely triggers your compulsion. If you need to not do it, you can spend a willpower to not do it, at least for a time.
I don't have any willpower left.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, your compulsion just pretty much
All right.
activates and you get started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think at that, Anya has ripped that headband that Dakota gave her to hide the horns off and is just sort of origami folding it, like, in a way that probably stretches the fabric to the edge of breaking, but is very careful not to break it, because it would be even worse.
It's one of my favorites.
Hands it over to you. Just skirt ruffles are being folded. Yeah, sorry. This is probably happening very much in the background, but it is definitely...
Even the quietest of us find it difficult to resist the overwhelming violence and war that pervades that realm.
Well, fuck me.
You see Olive look at you sort of appraisingly. Aidan.
That was a figure of speech.
She knows.
God damn it.
He says it anyway.
Right. Perks of being full spirit.
to be
You
fair,
can't make medicine
it's not
anymore.
breaking the litany if they're in spirit. That would be a little awkward for Alex, though.
Do you have guidance on resisting it?
Agatha sort of chuckles. Teeth, claws. Use whatever you have. The strongest willed amongst you may have to step in. The true traps of the battleground are the personal ones. Those of you that have battles in your history. Be cautious.
Are we talking any kind of fights, or is this more one of them metaphorical things?
Yes, I believe it's the correct answer.
Quite both.
Oh, shit.
I also have noticed, and because we're in the Umbra, the little like lightning bugs basically are around again. these.
What
are
of them?
they? Why are they here? Do you know?
Brittany leans forward. There was a storm the night of your birth. Your father was a theurge, a guru of some affinity to the spirits himself. It is likely it arises from one of these sources. But that is a gift and a benefit. I would not question it too harshly unless something arises to make you worried.
Right. I do not have anything else I need to ask right now. I look around at the rest of the group.
Sal succeeded on his willpower roll, so no.
As you're looking, you're noticing that Anya is very dexterously and very familiarly braiding her fucking hair.
Yep. I think it may be time for us to leave. The way back will be long.
Very well, then. There are things you have not yet learned, and it seems that time is short. When this battle is over, you will return to us alone for a time.
Yes.
There are things that Pegasus needs of you, and that you need of them.
Yes. As far as exiting, what would Alex think is the appropriate way to do that? Like, to get us out as quickly as possible, because I see that Anya's getting very agitated, and I know Sal.
I mean, there's nothing to say you can't just step sideways.
I look at Cal then. It seems the easiest way.
He nods, stands up, gives a very light bow to the three women who are still seated around the blankets and the food, and prepares the way for you guys. Do. Yep. And yep. Okay. But yeah, just pulls back the gauntlet and everybody can step through.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm spending, once we're through, I'm immediately spending a rage to get back to Hamid form.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Sal
you
will
can't
poof back.
really braid your hair properly.
No, it's claws. It's very difficult.
You have claws, you don't have hair, you have fur.
Sal will pop back to Hamid as well.
All right.
Yeah, Dakota's gonna do that too.
As you come out, the very first thing you do, or the very first thing you see, I should say, is Dustbringer perched on a rock. Did you learn what you needed?
For now. Okay.
The trail is clear. Getting
Good.
back should be quicker.
Thank you for coming with. I look at to the rest of the group.
You doing all right?
Aidan has actually, by the way, gone lupus, not.
Okay.
I'm gonna make another roll. See how well Anya's disguising it now that we're out of there.
Okay.
Not well.
Not well, but like not a botch. So you'd probably still have to
Yeah.
roll if
Right.
you're
If
trying to find out.
if Alex doesn't respond, I'm gonna try to make an insight perception empathy check to see how she's
Sure.
doing.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what's going on with you right now. So, yeah, and that's fine because that doesn't change what he was gonna do. Yeah, he goes lupus and he comes up and just does sort of a leg bump, sort
Yeah.
of.
Right. Just,
Oh,
did you,
yeah. I'll ruffle the fur on the top of your head.
On Anya,
Oh, okay.
not Alex.
Gotcha. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So, yeah,
Makes
Sal's
no sense.
trying to figure out how Alex is doing.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
Alex needs to address stuff verbally with the group. Anya just needs an "it's okay."
Yep.
Dakota gives Alex a big hug. And then she'll give one to Anya too.
Yeah, it's shaky. So that was for Sal. It was.
Sorry, go ahead.
That was a lot. She was very nervous about all of that leading up to it, which she was hiding. So now all the nerves have come out, basically. Also a fair amount of like relief, I guess, because for her that was acknowledgement that she can still trust this group of people, I guess. And she's got some advice. It's vague, but they're always vague. And so she's getting a lot of comfort from that.
All right.
If Dakota goes to hug Anya, there is like a flinch and a shiver.
You okay?
We should be getting back, just in case.
Yeah.
The trail is here clear now. It will not remain that way.
Let's go.
So they seemed nice. Creepy as fuck, but for people living out in the middle of nowhere, not totally.
They're spirits.
And he, what?
That explains why they were wrong.
Did I just fucking miss the memo?
That probably actually comes out in Russian.
Wrong? Okay.
That explains why they were something that only Hikau has a chance of recognizing.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not all spirits are talking birds or big or big spiders. Sometimes it's really hard to tell the difference.
So you got
obvious all this through the pack speak because it's still on 4 legs.
Did you
Which
notice,
is working again now.
Yeah.
Yay!
Did you notice when you were out here with him, or?
No, it was it was intense. No,
yeah.
I didn't. That makes more sense now, though. Okay.
Wait. The fact that you had 3 ghost moms makes more sense.
I can see
We
that.
did not find any records of them because they are not a pack that is living here. Let us move on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. That does make sense. And he mouths, "What the fuck?" again.
This is not the time for your mockery. Let us go.
It's not mockery. That's a big fucking load to have dropped on somebody.
I assume we are walking as this is
yes.
happening.
Yes. So right.
This is being said while walking. Still it is being thought at you.
Yep.
And Sal's responses as well.
So right about now is when you're getting to the waterfall from the top. And from this vantage point, anybody who wants to can make me an intelligence and survival difficulty 7, 8 if you don't have any dots in survival.
Sure. Intelligence and survival?
Uh-huh.
I think Sal is still
Botch.
get.
That's
Really bad botch too.
I'm not even gonna roll. I think
does
Sal's
that
still dealing with
include-
the whole
Ooh,
ghost
Does
thing.
the lower perception difficulty of being in lupus help?
This is intelligence, not perception.
Oh, you said intelligence.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
I thought you said perception. Int plus survival. Good enough.
Yeah. So you guys basically take a moment to get your bearings here. And Dakota, you sort of look off to the south and you're like, if we just walk that way and kind of curve way the fuck around, we'll get to a point where it's a lot easier to climb down and there's not so much water and wet rock surface. That would probably be a way easier way to get back on the trail. And it'll dump us out, quarter, half mile farther closer to the vehicles rather than us just
I like
hiking
that the
directly.
lupus is like, obviously this is how we navigate the place I have always lived.
What time is it, by the way, now?
Right about now, it's about 2-3 p.m. It's
Okay.
hot
Okay.
as balls.
Sal is passing around bottles of water, by the way, if anyone will take them.
So if we go that way, we're less likely to die.
Yep.
Amazing.
Redirects.
Yeah,
Anya was
Aidan, you follow the line of sight, and you're like, she right.
Yep.
Yeah. Anya was seriously considering, can I just jump this?
Right. Water breaks a fall, right? Always.
Well, no, onto the rock, because the water
okay.
is full of unknowable demons.
Technically, rocks break falls too.
Well, I break
And
my legs
bones.
and I walk it the fuck off because I'm a menace.
Yep. So you guys begin.
That is a legitimate tactic.
Throw self off building. Did not immediately die. I'll be fine. You guys begin to pick your way around the edge of the canyon, following the rim down a little bit until you get to a break. Just for the hike back, just for shiggles, give me stamina and survival, difficulty 6. You're going downhill. You're in the shade.
Swear to God, if I get
fairly
my
easy.
head trapped in a rock this time.
I mean, I feel like if you're going to get your head trapped in a
Oh,
rock,
crap.
you have to have Kitty Pride around for that.
3
Cake.
successes.
Excuse
I mean,
0.
I think Dakota's got her head trapped in a rock.
you said 6,
We're all on the
Difficulty
same
yeah.
rock.
7, or no, it's survival.
survival. Yeah, if you don't have any dots in survival, it would be 7. But yeah,
Survival is a skill, not a talent.
yes, yes.
It's
it's true.
those were all over 7 anyway. So
Yeah. Yep. So you guys begin to make your way back. There's a few moments of sliding and peril, but nothing bad happens. Despite Dakota accidentally taking a tumble down a reasonably steep sandstone shelf, which is a little unnerving for you, Dakota, because you remember what happened the last time you fell off a rock.
Yeah.
But you don't get knocked out and eventually and
Eh,
revert back to your breed form or anything. So you're good. You're good.
Okay.
And roughly around 5:30 p.m., as the sun is dipping behind the mountains that you're crawling out of, you guys get back to the vehicles.
Looking
Is the car still there?
There's a clear shot.
Your vehicles are there, and your vehicles are the only ones in the parking lot right now.
And no one
Huh?
else is there.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Hurry to the vehicle.
Okay.
Getting in the back because the tinted windows are more tinted in the back.
Right. Still kind of an oven, but,
Anya honestly does not seem to care all that much.
That's fair.
Here's a question. Does summoning air let you summon cool air to a hot environment?
Which gift are we talking about?
We're talking about the create element gift. Like,
love
I'm
this
probably
idea.
not going to use it because it's really expensive and doesn't always work, but...
You...
It's on page 155.
Yeah.
It's also up in my character sheet.
You don't really... It'll be ambient, more or less, so it's not necessarily... You can't really use it as air conditioning, unfortunately, now.
So it would definitely create a breeze, but it'd be a warm one. Got it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it would slightly pressurize the car, probably.
It would slightly pressurize the car, yes.
Sal does a once-over of the car, including underneath, to see if there's anything there that shouldn't be.
Perception alertness, difficulty 6.
Ah, so paranoid.
Aidan goes back to Hamid, doesn't care about that, and climbs on his bike.
Okay. Your bike starts.
Look, if something's
And
And
gonna
then it explodes. No.
if something's gonna blow me up, it's gonna blow me up. No amount of checking under my bike is gonna help. with that.
Right. Oh, so I find a
Well-
bomb one here. Doesn't mean I know how to disarm it.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Well, but no-
for cats.
Right.
Okay, hold on. So just so I understand, is Aiden's approach, there's a bomb on this. I don't know what to do about it. May as well turn it on.
I mean, you've gotten a sense of Aiden's state of
Yeah.
mind. What do you think?
It probably the last thing over the mental link is, oh, thank God.
But Sal, you do not find anything untoward or unusual about the vehicle once you
Okay.
once you give it a pass.
All right. Then I'll turn it on and crank the air.
All right.
The reason he doesn't check is because he wants it to be a surprise.
And we end chapter 13 with everybody in vehicles headed back to the halfway house after an interesting day in the Umbral Desert. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
And we should be offline by now. It sometimes takes a second, but it's
Yeah,
showing me well.
because it's filling the... Yeah. I think we're good.
I'm not hearing anyone in chat say